It's a very bold thing for me to tell you that you need silver more than ever before, and it's not in the way that you think. I'll explain why in this video as we explore. Silver is a much needed resource for multiple different uses out there in science, technology, and industry. And we, as silver stackers, we tend to be focused more on it as a precious metal, such as a form that you see right here before you. But there's a lot more to it than that. And this is part of why silver's prices go up and why silver prices go down. I'm going to be referencing a piece from Visual Capitalist about silver, the unsung hero of the new economy. And we know that silver's demand does keep surging, driven by technologies like solar power and artificial intelligence. We see that in 2023, according to the World Silver Survey from the Silver Institute, that the silver market experienced a 15% supply deficit. Now, that's if you believe them. I have to always qualify that because I tend to believe what CPM Group says, that we are narrowing the supply-demand ratios to a point where it is getting close, but we're not quite in a deficit yet. Silver supply and demand gap that we look at, continuing from the reporting that they have, there's a total supply and demand. From 2021 to 2024, the silver market is expected to reach a cumulative deficit of 759 million ounces, according to them. Now, there it is, and this represents the total demand, total supply, and you can see that it has surpassed that for the past 4 years. We've not seen that since 2015. And in 2016, we saw prices of silver go up. But they've not gone up here in the last 4 years. I mean, well, they have gone up, but not as much as dramatic of a move from 2015 to 2016 for a brief period of time. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm not fully sold on these data that they're showing us here. But I do believe that it is probably very close, and we're probably right around here in 2019. Silver is a second only to oil as one of the most widely used commodities with more than 10,000 applications. That is huge, folks, when you think about it. It is the most diverse metal on the periodic table, and it is the second most diverse commodity. And that makes total sense when you think about how amazing silver is for all the use cases out there. Silver is essential for new technologies. In 2025, renewables are expected to generate more electricity than coal, with solar meeting half of the global demand growth over 2024 and 2025. We know that solar demand is also increasing dramatically. Silver is essential to photovoltaic cells. The average solar panel requires 20 grams of silver. And with new technology that I covered on this channel quite a while ago now, that will likely be up per panel because of the new technology. Typically, they can do more with less. But in this case, they need to do more to get more silver, to do a lot more with the solar panel efficiency. Now, that technology, I think, is still a ways off. We also have to take into account that China is the largest producer of solar panels, and they've created so many, and some are being used as actually fence rows. That's kind of interesting, but here is the graph showing the amount of demand for photovoltaic, for silver for photovoltaics, and it is dramatic. And I believe this is happening because there's from two different sources here, and Neva Solar and the Silver Institute. Man, that's amazing. And it's going to only get higher demand for solar, I feel. The other technologies that use silver, such as nanoparticles, silver nanoparticles are used in wearable electronic skin patches, and the average cell phone contains about 1/3 of a gram of silver. And you may think that's not a whole lot. However, there's a lot of cell phones out there, and there's a lot of cell phones that have yet to be recycled yet. Electric vehicles use between 25 and 50 grams of silver. And that's not a whole lot either. That's just a little bit more than what a solar panel uses. And just goes to show you that if they move to this silver solid state battery technology that Samsung is using, that will be up dramatically, because then they use about 1 kilo of silver per vehicle. But that technology is a ways off as well too, and we don't know exactly how viable it will be. Silver is used for semiconductors, controls, sensors, and LiDAR technology, and that's only increasing for sure, as considering that we also have the silver's conductivity, which will be crucial for AI's high energy demands with regards to quantum computing. No question about that. That is already being developed at a rapid pace, and that's only going to increase as well. So if we haven't reached a supply deficit, it's coming, folks. And I think even the most conservative of the analysts out there will tell you that. Meanwhile, declining ore grades and depleting reserves at existing mines reduce the output for silver. That is true, but you also have to take into account the fact that silver is mostly mined as a byproduct of other metals, and so that lowers its all-in sustaining costs and efforts to be able to extract it. So the more silver will be found, and there are other reserves that have been found in Poland that are pretty drastic, pretty amazing, pretty substantial as well. Now, let's take a look at the supply of silver by source from data accumulated from last year. Over 70% of silver is mined as a byproduct of gold, copper, and other metals, as I just discussed there. So that gives you an idea what's in play. And actually, I thought it was more than that, because primary silver minings are going the way of the dodo bird right now. So if we take a look at that, that is as a byproduct of lead and zinc. That's 30.8% as a byproduct of lead and zinc, base metals that are relatively low cost, and 0.5% of other metals that are out there. Very, very small piece of the pie for that. And 13.7% as a byproduct of gold mining. Yes, indeed. You go and mine for gold and you get a little bit of silver as an extra. That's great. In fact, most doré bars contain a mixture of gold and silver. So that makes perfect sense. When you refine those down, you extract the silver out of it and you've got it for uses. It's a bonus. But 26.7% of silver mining comes as a byproduct of copper. That's pretty amazing too. We know how much copper is in demand and how much that is used up. So, and that, I think, tells us that, and the lead and zinc will let us know that if there is ever a massive recession, there will be less demand for products that contain copper, lead, and zinc. And by association and by default, that means less silver will be needed, which means that silver's price could go down because of that. Because only 28.3%, and actually this number surprises me, I thought it would be higher than that, is primary. Silver comes from primary mining sources. What defines a primary silver mine? A mine that with 50.1% of its output is silver. That means they barely, and a lot of them are literally that narrow, where they mining gold and other metals, but they're considered primary silver miners because 50.1% of their mining output is indeed silver. Now, on top mining to the top primary silver deposits as we see right now, this is actually pretty interesting. This tells you the grams per ton, the metric tons, and the troy ounces. We have polymetal resources, and they are the owner, and that is in Prognoz up in Siberia, or near Siberia in Russia. That's something else, with 560 grams per metric ton and output, I guess, of 7.9 million metric tons. That equates to 142 million ounces of silver. Then we have the outcrop silver and gold, number 2, and I don't really know where that is. The indicated grade for Santa Ana project is ranked the second highest in the world. Outcrop silver is quickly advancing the Santa Ana high-grade silver deposits in the Mariquita district, known as the highest-grade primary silver district in Colombia. And it makes sense. A lot of silver is mined in Mexico and in Latin America, with historic silver grades among the highest in Latin America from outcrop silver. Then we have 3, which is Dolly Varden Silver in Alaska. I've actually profiled that company before, and you can see the numbers there. That's pretty remarkable, surprising. 4 is Vizsla Silver there, and that's in Pinoco, Latin America. And then BlackRock Silver. Who? BlackRock. That's kind of scary. That's coming to us out of it looks like Nevada or Western United States there. What an amazing thing there. That's kind of what we're seeing there. This is some interesting data and information of what's going on with silver. Do you know, when you think about it in this form, primary silver mining, and we get ourselves some highly refined silver that's 3 nines fine or above, the amount of energy and time it does to produce these products, and when you have a bar like this in your possession, well, it gives you the confidence that you've got something that is in growing demand these days. And that is probably going to mean higher silver prices, barring some massive recession that could come down the pike. But it's beautiful to hold. And I think there's just something special about having pure silver in your possession, given what I just told you here. And that means you want this. I mean, it's not absolutely needed, but if you want to participate in this modern society, you're going to need silver in your products. There's no question about that, just as you would need copper. So when you think about silver, we also think about, the price of it that is driven a lot by the derivatives market. Those are paper, electronic versions of the metal. It's not silver itself. What you're looking at here is not silver. That's right. This is an artificial intelligence rendering of silver, not silver itself. You can tell by looking at it. If it can fool the eye, and that's exactly what an ETF would be as well. It is merely exposure to silver's price and not silver itself. So this video, I hope, will encourage you that no matter what the price is and no matter what the price does, and it could dramatically fall because of lack of demand, because of a slowing economy, silver is still crucial and a viable way to protect yourself outside of the system from which we find ourselves apart, and it will protect you against inflation if you buy it and you hold it in a strategic way. So I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.